celebrates the smaller channels who are working to bring down the goals and protect human rights. Scooter Mom celebrates the smaller channels, the ones who need more attention and are out there more and more. If you want Scooter Mom to show a small channel, send her clips and links, since you are making clips and sharing links is easy to do. Whether you protest stand or watch that needs you.
Hello, is there anybody out there? There has been so much going on lately. Hi, Style, good to see you. You know what? I am not liking what's happening with my background here, so bear with me a second while I kind of try to fix up a little something here. Oh, goodness. It's just been so nuts the last 24 48 hours. Oh my goodness, I do not even know what all to say at this point. Holy crap, I don't even know what I'm doing while I'm talking to you. Hi Cricket, welcome. Hi Fairy, good to see you. I'm not liking this duplicate business here. Just give me a sec here behind me. I decided that I would try to do, what am I doing? That I would try to do the background behind me. I am not liking what I am seeing. Oh, no, don't want that. Good Lord. Love a duck. It doesn't want to let me do anything. And now I'm getting overheated. So if you read if you read my title, I threw out my notes last night because clearly there's been so much else going on that it just really wasn't worth it. Here, let me try this. Okay, that's a little better, I think. Oh, thank you, Style. I'm trying. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fairy. I didn't like seeing the duplicate scooter report thing. I'll play with it a little bit later. And I'm still trying to decide whether I like having the fake background. If you could see, I mean, I could show you, but then that would kind of defeat the purpose. What the hell? I'll just show you. Just us. Hi, Buttercup. I saw ya. Give me a sec again. I'm showing you the behind the curtain stuff. If I do this, you can see I have put up a a sheet behind me to kind of give a little bit of a green screen-ish, blue screen, I suppose, to allow me not to sink into a fake background. Hi, Becky. Welcome in. Oh, I'm hot. I was chilly until I hit go live. And yes, I am wearing my pajamas because it's just been crazy. Especially this last, 24 hours-ish? 24, 36 hours. So, I threw out my notes and said, you know what, we're just going to talk about it. It's not something that I ordinarily would cover on the Scooter Report. But it's pretty much all anyone in our community is talking about the last 24 hours, 36 hours, however long it's been. So, and honestly, I was having trouble keeping up with everything anyway, and I was paying attention to that instead of preparing for the show today, as some of you might know from the chats I was in last night. So I just said, you know what? We're all talking about it, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Hi, Jen. Yeah, you just keep right on doing the paying work. No worries. Especially today. There's like no issue today. Not frazzled at all here because I already threw out the notes. I will warn you all, Biscuit is in the room. He's lying down in his bed right now, so I might be able to get away with it today because he has been parkour kitty for the last 2 hours. So he might have finally worn himself out for a little bit. I don't know how long it'll last, but keep your fingers crossed for me. Thank you, Fairy. My personal computer thetans that walk on 2 legs, they do not fly around, are, one is still at work for another few minutes. The other is on her way home. And Biscuit is very emotionally needy. Even though he drives us crazy, he needs to be with us. I mean, he's okay in his room overnight and for the inevitable timeouts that he needs. But if I can avoid putting him in his room to be isolated, I am trying to do that because he's still a baby and he needs to be around his people. You know, people that say that cats don't give a crap, thanks, Style, that cats don't give a crap about, you know, whether they're around people or not, do not really know cats. They are actually pretty social. They just do it in their own way. Anyways, so if you're just coming in, yes, today is a different kind of scooter report. It's just us talking about the last 24 hours. Somebody getting a new pair of bracelets. It's sounding like it's going to be a little more temporary, and that, yeah, if only the doodles could finish on their own, Jen, but then you wouldn't get paid to do it. It's sounding like he might actually manage to get out on bail, at least from what I've heard, and I've only had like the last couple of hours to catch up on the latest. It's sounding like the bail could be dropped, and you know, the charges might get reduced. I honestly do not know. That's not something that I'm hoping for just because of who he is and all the damage he has done. But in a perfectly neutral mindset, I can understand people like Street saying, like, this is an overreach and, you know, whatever. So what I'm going to do that I don't normally do on the scooter report is I am going to put the link in the chat for anyone who would like to come up and discuss it. I don't know all the latest. I acknowledge that. If you want to express an opinion about the situation, if you don't want to have your camera on, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Restream apparently does not allow you a space on the screen. Yes, Fairy. Kittens need time out. Restream doesn't seem to give you space on the screen if you don't have your camera on, but we'll still be able to hear you, so don't let that worry you. You know, like, let's just talk it out. I have no problem with that. I mean, I am honestly of two minds because, I think most of us try to be as fair as possible, but it is honestly a little difficult to be his bail has already been reduced. Thank you, Fairy. So his bail is now 75,000. So that means that he is likely to get out probably pretty soon because if they can raise that, and I say they because I am not having anything to do with all of that. Even if I could afford to, I would not be contributing to that. Just as our kittens need time out and our children need time outs, I have no problem with him having an extended timeout. And that way we know he can't be getting into trouble, causing us headaches and issues in the meantime. I do not mind saying, oh, I forgot to put my rings on today. Sorry. Squirrel. Sorry. Hi, Papa. I do not mind saying that, somebody's joining me, that I just, I have no patience for bad behavior. Okay, Style. Hello. Hello there.
Hi, this is the first time I've ever joined through a link, so if I'm coming through correctly,
You're
let me
doing
know.
fine. You're
Okay.
absolutely fine.
So
I can hear you. I'm pretty sure everyone else can.
I'm not seeing you.
DOA got arrested.
Involve myself at all. However,
Yeah.
I'm a nut, so I'm just going to do.
Welcome to the club. You still there? Style. Oh, there she is again. You know, when we're holding our phones to our faces, sometimes we push buttons with our cheeks. Hi.
I have been called cheeky, but
well, then you must have a British
person.
You must have a British person in your life to call you cheeky.
I'm well read.
Yeah. Oh, you're breaking up a little bit on me. I missed entirely what you were saying there. I mean, it could be me. It could be that everybody else is hearing you. No, I'm not hearing you, Style. Oh, and I lost you. Okay. Hopefully she will be back. I see Sunshine. Hello, Peace, Love, Sunshine. Welcome in. We're just, we're taking a complete detour from the usual Scooter Report. Yeah, Style, I'm sorry. You can put it in the chat and I'll bring it up if you want. So I'll just, anybody else who wants to come up to chat about this, express an opinion about it, you're welcome to do so. The link is in the chat. If you're hearing dogs barking, my apologies. I have neighbors who like to leave their dogs outside a lot. And while, yes, they might need fresh air, I'm not sure that that's what they're there for. That's where I will leave that comment. I think I know why I forgot to put my rings on. My fingers are feeling a little swollen. So if you're seeing me fidgeting, that's why. Yeah, PLS, I agree. And there are people who are very determined to get him out. And, that's their right. I don't happen to agree with them. But you can, no, she left me. She fell out, Fairy. She's back in the chat. I said if she wanted to type it out, I would bring up the comment. Oh, here we are. Let's try it again. Nope, she gone again. Oh, boy. Restream and all other kinds of technology. Fairy has the 411 today. Yeah. Fairy, you don't have to have your camera on if you want to come up and fill us in on the latest. I have no problem with that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Style. If you want to type it out into the chat and do it that way, I'll bring up your comments, because all comments are valid as long as they're respectful. Anyway, yeah, and if anyone else wants to come up, that's fine too. There is a basketball game tonight, so I am not doing this for like 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. But I'm good for another hour. His bail was lowered. Okay, Fairy says his bail was lowered to $75,000 and a stay-away order from Scientology and the guy he assaulted. Now, was that the guy on the bike that I saw Aaron show a clip of earlier? I did manage to see that on the replay. That's the only thing I saw in terms of updates. So, yeah, I mean, when I think we were all pretty shocked at the amount of bail that was originally stated. No stay off YouTube order. Nothing is going to change. I agree, PLS. Honestly, I don't think that was enough of a timeout in my opinion, but who am I? That's okay, Minnie. That's okay. I was in Eric's chat for a moment or two as well, so no worries. I have no problem with that. I was saying that I personally feel that he needed a timeout, and I would have liked to have seen it go longer. Do we know if he's actually out yet, or if he's getting out today, or if it's going to take some time? Oh, okay, Fairy, no worries. Yeah, granddaughters take precedence. No problem there. So yeah, I was saying though, if anybody wants to come up, and on like panel-ish, I guess, to discuss this topic, then, why not? As long as it's respectful, I have no problem with that. I'll keep putting the link in the chat. Not sure on that one. Okay, so he may still be in there. Don't know if they've got the money, I guess, yet. Personally, I hope it takes a long time. Any opinions on individual defendants? Yeah. I personally think that he has just, and I know that I'm not alone in feeling this way, he's done a lot of damage to the movement. He has not brought it completely down, but he has shooed away a lot of really good people, because They said nobody got time for this crap. I'm not monetized, but I just automatically have a censor button in me. So that was a 2-part comment. Oh, sorry. Okay, give me a sec. Let me scroll back up and see where the first part was. Lots of hellos. Not letting you in. All right. Let me see. I'm looking. No, that's okay. So I only got that part style. I don't know what the other part was. Hi, Sophia. I see Cricket saying hi to you, so I know that you're here. Oh, there you are. I see you now. So, yeah, I think he's done a lot of damage to the movement. And I think that was honestly his intention from the beginning. I don't think he cares about anything but himself. Yeah, he needs a good time out. I have trouble understanding why anyone thinks that he has done any good to any movement he has involved himself in. Yeah, Papa, I agree with you. I did not, from the moment he showed up on scene, he did not appeal to me. His style did not appeal to me. His attitude, yeah, there were ways that he could draw attention to the movement that, might have been good in someone else's hands. But I'm not personally sure that it was a positive, even at that point before he started going after people the way he did. We're dealing with LAPD, yes. Scientology, yes. So as far as, yes, it could, sorry, my camera is like right in my line of sight. Could happen. The planters are technically COS property. He ripped them apart. Vandalism. I have opinions on this. Minnie, I agree. And Minnie, if you want to come up, you are welcome to come up. To express those opinions more. Aaron put up a message. A retired employee of the LA District Attorney's Office. It explained the charges and her take on Scott's charges. Oh, okay. I should probably try to look for that. Oh, okay. The parkour kitty has decided to make himself a little bit of a nuisance. He wants to get up where he has no business being up. Did he put that on his community post, Buttercup? Because if he did, I will go and look for it. Let's see. Trying to catch up with all of you. Yes, he did walk into Scientology's trap, for sure. Okay. Let me just see if I can pull up another tab. This should not be an issue today because I am not doing a whole bunch of clips. Oh, I see Aaron is back on. That's always great for anybody else on a stream. I'm kidding. I hope you know I'm kidding. I mean, I don't know him personally from Adam. Sorry if Adam's in the chat. No, I don't see anything on his posts. So it must have been maybe a short, or he recently did a live. He may still be live. Yes, he is still live. So I'll have to check that later. Sorry, I am juggling pushing a cat away from my personal danger zones and trying to read the chat and I was checking Aaron's community post. So no, don't you dare. He's looking at the sheet that I put up. One moment, please. I don't trust you. I love you, but I don't trust you. Let's go. Come on. You can go see. You can go see another member of the family now. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, pardon my very graceful entrance. Hi. I'm back. Yes, cat meow off. Okay, now maybe I can focus a little better. I honestly, I don't know what else to say about all of this. So I'm just, chatting with all of you because this is like, I personally would like to see him either be in an extended timeout or F off into the forever. I have more than had my fill of Scott Hofstetter. I'm quite sure many of us have. I am wearing pants. Thank you, Sophia. Hi, crazy love. You will not get kicked out of this chat as long as you are respectful. Yes, I did see. I don't know specifically what Aaron was referring to on his morning stream. At least not entirely. But I will say this. You have been respectful with me. And I, in most cases, am fine with people make mistakes and they learn from those mistakes and we move forward. There are certain individuals, like the one we're talking about today, who choose not to learn from their mistakes because they don't see them as mistakes. And so they have no interest in correcting their behavior. So before any lurkers out there want to say something, sorry, I'll bring this up for anybody who is not able to see the chat. Crazy Love Audit says, oh wait, thank you. I didn't know I was worse than, stinky pants, but who knows. Afila, hello. I'm trying, Afila, Okay, so he said something about you attacking board members, and aside from him, I don't know, because I will be honest, I did not watch a lot of the stuff that you said, Crazy Love, because I don't generally like to watch that kind of stuff. I don't like attack streams. I don't like hate streams. I know that you were talking about accountability, but it still came off to me, in my opinion, as attack or hate stream. So I didn't watch a lot of it. So I don't know, everything that you said or did at the time. So, and I do hear that somebody else has joined me, and I will bring them on in I'll check and see who it is first. Yes, I know, Fairy. Everybody. There's Minnie. Is that Minnie? Yes, that's Minnie.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm okay. How are you? I'm tired,
Good.
but what else is new?
I hear you. Okay, so I'm actually on my television right now. I have Aaron on.
Oh, okay.
And I just watched he's live right now.
Yeah,
I just watched some of the La Poubelle. I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry.
that's okay. The poop bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That one.
The poop
Now,
place, yes.
people kept saying that the person in the leopard jacket, fur coat was DOA.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. That's a woman.
There were two leopard print
Right.
coats.
The
One
where there's a fight
Scott
that's
was
going
wearing.
on.
Yeah.
That's not DOA. That is a woman. So now this is my own personal opinion, of course. I mean, we're dealing with the Church of Scientology. Everybody knows how they are. We're all aware of it. We're all aware of the way they are, the pettiness of them, and how they will go about destroying you, basically. We all know this.
Yep.
My thing is, okay, I literally watched parts that I've never seen. Like I said, I had dismissed myself from all of it before he even started ripping up the planters out there. I only thought that he cut the wire. I didn't know he ripped the whole side off. Technically, that is damaging personal property.
Yep.
So there's where your vandalism comes in. Now,
Yeah.
he's getting hit with quite a few hate crimes stemming from what I'm made to understand. Correct me if I'm wrong. Him disturbing religious whatever you want to call it. Now, he's in people's faces, and some of them are elderly. I mean, come on now. Who does that? You want someone screaming in your grandmother's face? I don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when it comes, like I said, Scientology, I have experience with them, so I know. I know what they do, what they're capable of doing, actually. He's screaming their beliefs, which we all know are not religious stuff, but to them it is. That's where your hate crime's going to come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I do. I think though that it's they're walking a fine line with the hate crime.
yes, because that's strong. That's powerful.
Trying to be objective about it. Trying to be objective.
Exactly. It's very comical if you really look at it, but unbelievable. Last I heard, Dodge did an update. He was there at the courtroom, and they lowered the bail to $75,000, or is
Yeah, that's what Ferry was saying in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I got out of Dodge. Dodge did say that he's got a public defender, another lawyer busy or whatever, or such short notice couldn't defend him.
Yeah.
It's understandable. Lawyers' jobs are they're very busy people. So that's understandable. A public defender, I mean, if they can prove the fact that this is all bogus, then keep a public defender going. I've had public defenders. I'm always honest about myself. I'm no angel. I've done things wrong. I had a public defender get me off on some serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And got it so that I didn't have to serve any time or anything. You know what I mean? Paid a fine, did some probation, and walked away. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You do have to stay out of trouble. See, the other thing is too, people are stating that he is not on probation any longer, but it states in that charge that he is. You get
Uh,
arrested, that's an automatic violation of probation. The minute and
yeah.
sometimes probation, I know this from my own experiences. Sometimes probation doesn't get the alert for a little while. So he could get released on these charges but rearrested. He could even have
Oh.
it could even happen right in the jail. To be honest, he could get released from there and they're standing out there. Well, your PO put a warrant out for you because you got arrested, you violated your probation. So
Okay.
so
See, I
I mean,
only know what I've seen from TV because
yeah.
I am a pure innocent child flower.
Oh,
I don't know these things.
I hear you. I learned a lot about the law, and I ain't gonna lie. I did do something wrong. I got arrested, and I literally wrote the judge a note to put me in jail. Because if she didn't, I was gonna die. I was into drugs really badly.
Yeah.
PTSD was horrible. I was just going through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had her put me in jail. While I was there, I read and learned so much about law and crimes, and even honestly, to be honest, I even learned ways to get around certain laws and certain crimes you have done yourself. You understand what I mean? And
Yeah.
to read some of the things that are written in not only that, but in the law library themselves of a correctional facility. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
See that
Okay. So fraud says $75,000 bail, stay away from Scientology, wear an ankle monitor per Dodge. Yeah. Which means
Ankle.
he's got to be able to charge it.
Yep.
Doesn't he have to have like a home base with an ankle
Yes.
monitor?
With an ankle monitor, that could be stemming from his probation. His probation officer could have requested that. So I do know now, though. I know it's so. The laws now, being laws, have also been changing a lot. They do sometimes they will arrest people that are quote unquote flight risks. So
Yeah.
meaning that they can take off at any time. You can't trust them to release them. Blah 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 blah. So with that, they started doing ankle bracelets, and people, you have to have an address. It has to be registered. You have to register that. You have to charge it, and it stays on your ankle. And if you don't, you're asking for a world of trouble.
Yeah.
Another violation.
So just for clarification, just going back a bit, because I knew what I was seeing from that clip from La Poubelle. Scott was wearing a leopard coat too. So there were two people in leopard print coats, him and the woman.
And the woman, right, but he took it off. Because in the
No,
video
he was still wearing it when he started to walk away, and then he turned around when he came back when the cops were showing up.
He also had on like a gray hoodie, it looked like. Unless because Aaron was just showing it, and it shows him.
I think we're talking two different times. We're talking about two different occasions.
Because it was a lot. Like, there's a lot. And the way... Now, as far as those barriers that they have, you know, the things he was throwing around over there at the church.
Mm-hmm.
Scientology. Now, with those things, okay, they can technically say he vandalized them if there's damage done, but if they belong to Scientology, if they don't and they're rented, then that charge would have to come from the rental place.
My understanding is Scientology built those things themselves.
Oh, so then that's their property.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see anybody like I'm not trying to like be an idiot about it. I'm just saying technically, I'm sorry to hate to say it, they got a case. They got a case. They've got a case
Yeah.
against them. You know, for all the
Oh,
other ones.
I
I am
listen.
I'm kind of happy. Real quiet for a while.
I'm not saying that they don't have a case. I am saying that I think, yeah, they probably did stretch it as far as they could. And
Yeah.
from my incredibly large education of law TV in the U.S., I would say that that's probably something that they do fairly often is charge higher so that they have wiggle room to drop down lower. Are we feeding kitties?
Yes, we're feeding dinner time for them as they're just piling up behind me.
Yeah.
But so now that's like I was gonna say too. So in other words, okay, I'll use my own for an example. Years ago, not in I think it was 2004. I don't remember what exact year it was. 2005 maybe. They were trying to hit me with a felony.
Mm-hmm.
It dropped so far down that it's not even on my record anymore.
Oh, wow.
Because it wasn't true. I didn't do what they said I did. They said I broke in and robbed and burglarized someone's home, and I didn't. I actually got stabbed at somebody's house. I have a scar on my stomach from being stabbed.
Ooh.
So they were, yeah. So they were trying to get us because they were. It was a nightmare. Put it that way. It was a nightmare, and it did take a long time. The problem was they were charging me with a burglary, and I didn't burglarize anything. And technically, I was a victim, so I had an attorney who was a pro bono, 18 and B, did a free case, and got me off on everything. So
wow.
Yeah, because it was BS. It was literal BS. I didn't break into the person's house. I was let right in the door, and a fight broke out between two other people, and I stupidly got into the middle of it, and I ended up upstairs. So it's, but when the cops came, they see that I fled with them. So right there, I looked like a culprit, and they were trying to pin it all on me. And it was a nightmare, but I battled that case. I have to say, I battled that case for like 2.5 years. That's a long time to have to fight a case.
Yeah.
But now, see, when it comes to fighting a case, the other thing I wanted to, things I've learned, like I said, these are all things I've learned. You're better off fighting a case from the street, so to speak, than you are fighting a case while
from behind bars.
Are incarcerated. Because the judge looks at it like, well, you're here already. You might as well stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Stiles says, again, not a fan of unsympathetic defendant, but if COS wins hate crime or disturbing religious services, COS will go after anyone at all orgs, especially Chicago at risk. And I agree with that. So that's why I feel kind of torn.
Yes, right. Exactly. Me too. I'm like, well, what do we do here? What do we now? Like, this isn't good. And I mean, they could be, I don't know, this could go in so many different thousands of directions.
Yeah.
It's the crazy part. In a legal sense, it could go so many different ways. It could crumble in his face, which it seems like it's doing right now. To be honest, everything seems like it's crashing down on him.
Yeah.
And like I said, the way he is, the things he's done to other people, and his little, the whole craziness that I myself was even involved with is just, I can't believe I allowed myself to be involved. in such ridiculous behavior, to be honest.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
I
just,
just want to, I want to reply to Fairy
sure, yeah,
with
yeah,
her comment. Style, I see your point, but the difference is he agitated them instead of being peaceful. But Fairy, knowing Scientology as we do, they
Right.
will paint us all with that same brush, regardless of whether we're behaving the same way as him. And I think that's the point that many of us are struggling with, is as much as we want to see him punished for his behavior,
It could
we
reflect
don't
on
want it to happen we don't want it to happen at our expense with what
Right.
we're trying to accomplish. So, and I know that you probably already knew that, and I'm wasting oxygen, but what the hell, right? It's my stream and I'll say what I want.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
But
see, Fairy said I got that too. Yeah.
I
So
you,
I do.
this could really smack
Um,
a lot of people in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This could damage
and
a lot of people.
yeah, it really can. And I think that's
Who knew?
also, yes, he uses Laura as a cover, and I
Yeah.
think she voluntarily allows herself to be used as his cover.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
he
yeah.
also uses our movement as his cover
Right.
as well.
Right. This didn't start out as his thing. He didn't create this
No.
movement. Which
No.
I think his
Oh, we might have lost.
can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, what the heck happened?
I don't know. You disappeared for a second, but you're back.
Can you hear me?
You're a black silhouette, but I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Hold on one second.
Oh, she may not be able to hear me, though, folks. Hi, Robert James. Okay, she's going to come back. There
Can you
she
hear me?
is. Are you there? Yes, I can hear you.
No?
No, you can't hear
Can
me,
you hear
though.
me at all?
Yes, I can hear
I
you.
lost it. Can you hear me?
Okay.
No? Oh boy.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No?
Okay, I'm going to take her out and let her come back.
Can you hear
Can
me?
you hear me now?
Uh-oh.
Minnie? Nope. Okay. Minnie, come back when you can, when you maybe reboot or something. Yeah, exactly, Style. What message on a sign would then be called a hate message? Because it sets a precedent. That was the expression I was looking for and didn't find. It really is a very slippery slope with someone like Scott, unfortunately, because it does, as much as we want to separate what he does from what we do. Hi, Doug. Scientology is not going to separate that. They're going to lump us in with him as often as they possibly can. And the law might be willing to do that as well if they're just looking for a win or looking for the easiest, least resistant path to success. So I think we all do need to keep that in mind. Yes, there has been a lot of joy in the last 12 to 24 hours in particular when he got his new accessories placed on his wrists. And I think for those of us who have seen the problems that he has caused and seen them for what they were, or have been affected by his behavior directly or indirectly, I think it's perfectly understandable that people have that reaction. I don't know how well I can say this. I guess No, I'm not even going to try because I can't. I do try often to see other people's point of view, but I cannot see other people's point of view in this situation. I tried to. All the way along, I have tried to understand people who have continued to support him since he joined this community or pushed his way in, however you want to put it. But I cannot even put myself in that frame of mind anymore because of all the damage he has caused, emotionally, if not physically. So I can't. My brain won't allow me to go there. Yeah, Doug, it seems like maybe it wasn't the Motley Crue situation. It seems like it might have been a different situation altogether. And so, I mean, we don't know until they show, if it goes to trial, which, I mean, I don't know if it should or shouldn't at this point. But if it does go to trial, we won't know until they show what it is they're using to know for sure which incident. But there have been a couple. The Motley Crue incident was one, but then another incident was raised this morning as a possible situation. That's okay, Minnie. That's okay. If you want to come back on, you can. Let me see if I still have. Yep. There's the link. You can come back in. There was a situation with a guy on a bike as well, Doug, that Aaron showed on his stream. That now people are thinking that maybe that was the incident. Yeah, the bike guy. Not Audit's bike guy. Eric, if you stick strictly to this topic, because this is not just a chit-chat panel, I just want to keep it on the events of the last 24 hours. I just want to stick to that topic because this is ordinarily my Scooter Report time where we talk about the small channels. I've set that aside for today, but it's not a chit-chat panel. If you want to talk strictly about this, the charges and the effects of his arrest, then that's fine. So, anyway, and there's Minnie. Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can.
So I had to plug my phone in, and I got a phone call at the same time. I'm like, oh, great. Don't work.
That's okay.
It doesn't work too well.
So yeah. Peace, Love, Sunshine says, I will never understand how hypocritical his viewers are. He is everything that they say they hate, yet they don't and love him. It's so gross to me. And you know what?
Yeah.
PLS, I completely agree.
Yeah, I do too. 100%. Because it's disgusting.
Yeah. Doug says Aaron just had a live and a retired DA assistant in LA. She said it was Motley Crue. Oh, okay. Yeah. So now we know it was the Motley Crue incident with the 2 leopard coats.
Yes, that's what I was trying to. What I was getting at before when we were talking.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing that he was showing, that Aaron was showing on his live stream.
Okay, yeah. Well, because I saw Aaron had shown the Motley Crue thing, but then he also showed an incident with a guy on a bike.
Yeah, right. So because that's where nobody knew. No one knows exactly where and what time frame these incidents occurred. So
well, they do have the dates of the incidents on the paperwork, but the problem is He did so
Without
much
time.
in such a small amount of time.
Seriously, though, right? That's what I'm saying in my head. I'm like, God, he really did all this. And see, those live streams that Aaron was showing, I wasn't. That's when I backed myself away. I was like, bye, I can't. Nope.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was getting this
yeah.
real weird, eerie feeling that something bad was going to happen, and I was just like, let me
Mm-hmm.
back away, and then I would jump in a little bit, say hello, and then leave. Literally,
So apparently it was the chokehold.
the chokehold. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a
And
chokehold.
that
That's
was him in the leopard print coat
okay. So
on
that
the
was
ground.
him.
Yeah, that was him. See, because
Okay,
there were two
there were
people
two.
wearing leopard print coats. He was one of them, and that
Okay,
woman was another one. But it was Scott on the ground holding him in a chokehold. And
I
when I
remember.
saw
Yeah,
that footage,
I
I
saw that
don't
too.
remember before last night or this morning. It's all rolled into one for me. I don't remember seeing the chokehold before the last 24 hours. But when
Right.
I saw the chokehold in the last 24 hours, I went, oh, yeah, that could be
Yeah,
it, because that could be,
that could be
something that can
considered. Yeah,
cause harm. Yeah,
especially if you
yeah,
learn that in like a karate or jujitsu class. Technically, you're
yeah,
only supposed to use that for
as
self-defense, not to
exactly.
inflict bodily harm on someone.
Right.
I
Now,
tell
I
I
mean,
tell
he
my
could
niece that
claim
all the time.
defense of another. Hi, J-Bat. He could
Exactly.
claim defense of another, but I'm not sure how well that'll go over. I
I
honestly
I
don't
don't
know.
think that'll stick. I don't
Can't
think so.
remember, but didn't he also chokehold the guy that was walking with his
Wife and
wife and
kids.
kids, or was that just an altercation? I don't know. I did
Mm,
not watch him that closely. He irritated
I
me
honestly,
beyond
cause
all
yeah,
reason from the start, so I paid as little attention to him as I could,
yeah.
you know.
After he started
Um,
going AWOL on people, I was just like, oh my goodness, what on earth?
mhm,
That's like it
yeah,
basically started with me when I started really backing away was the encampment. When he
hmm
was saying all these horrible things about Becky, and I was just like, I really don't
yep.
see anything wrong with what this woman's doing. I didn't
And
see.
I was camped out in Becky's streams every time she was there.
There you go. See, and she didn't do anything, and everybody else
No,
says the same thing. I didn't even see her do anything. Who?
the
Where
only
was
things
this
she
needle
did
thing and this whole?
was go shopping for food or things that
Yeah,
she needed to prepare the food, drive to the encampment, prepare the food, serve the food, and then sit and talk with people.
that's what I would say. That's where I don't get what, and not for nothing, but a harm reduction advocate, they have a very serious job of quote unquote saving lives. Which
Yes.
to me, in my eyes, being I'm an ex addict. Well, I still consider a recovering addict. I'm 11 years clean, but still, I'm still a
Yeah.
recovering addict.
Sure.
That's a lifesaver right there. We loved them in the street when they would
Yeah.
come to us and be like, "Here you go. Here's anything," and give you a little Ziploc bag full of needles. I didn't use needles, but I gave them to my friends that did, so they didn't use a dirty needle and, God forbid, end up with HIV, AIDS, or hepatitis. You
Exactly.
know, and things like
Yep.
that. So to me, in my eyes, people like that are helping to save lives. Okay, listen, it's an epidemic we have no control over. People are helping. What's the
Yep.
problem?
Exactly. And
I
as
don't see.
Becky has said from the beginning, she meets people where they are. She's
Right,
not there to
right,
convince you that now is the time to change your ways. She's there to help you where you are at with
exactly.
what she can provide.
And,
But
and I,
Becky
yeah,
also does not like needles. So she's not carrying needles around, whether it's in her bag or in her boobs. It's just not happening.
It's not happening, exactly. And then other people said it was some sort of a pipe, I guess a meth pipe or something. But if it was a clean, brand new meth pipe, there's no issue. You're not getting in trouble for it because there's no paraphernalia in it. So you technically cannot get in trouble for it. If I'm walking down the street with a meth pipe in my pocket, I get stopped by a cop. They go, "Oh, what's this?" 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, "You know what? I don't even really care. There's nothing in it. There's nothing to charge you with." They can't even charge you with a possession charge because there's nothing in it. Yeah. So I really, that whole situation boggled me for the longest time, saying to myself, what did she do to deserve you to be so evil, to be so mean? And not for nothing, she said, I didn't take the, okay, she didn't take the, no, she didn't do anything wrong. And even if she did, who cares? She's a harm reduction advocate. That's an important part of the entire epidemic this world is going through. Yep. So it's like, someone like myself would see her in a completely different view than anybody else would, because I see her as a lifesaver. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I tell you, a lot of people here on Long Island would too, because they appreciate these people. These men and women that come around and they give you out all these needles and pipes and they give you all this stuff, pamphlets, this, that, anything.
And I don't have any history with addiction that I'm aware of. Well, I mean, that's another story. There are certain parts of my childhood that I honestly have no memory of. So I always say that I'm aware of. But I could see that that's what Becky was doing. And maybe it's because of my broad TV education that I have seen harm reduction specialists. And I don't mean just on fictional TV. Honestly, there have been news programs that I have been addicted to for many years. And sometimes they have actually interviewed people like Becky. Right. Or people who have worked with people like Becky. So I already had a little bit of an understanding of it. And I mean, I had also heard about, let me think. There were harm reduction centers in Vancouver that were getting a lot of press, and in Toronto that have gotten a lot of press, and they were always under the hammer because of the NIMBYs, as we like to call them, the not in my backyards, who don't like these places, these harm reduction places where people can go in, are issued clean needles. They have to do their business there in the center, and then they have to wait a little bit before they leave to make sure that they didn't OD themselves, that they are, you know, they're able to function on that level before they leave. And I never understood what the big problem was, other than people saying, I don't want that in my backyard.
Yes, exactly. That's what we battle with here on the island all the time.
Yeah. And now you see
just mental health housing.
Yeah.
So not in my backyard.
Yep. Same. Same here. Same
Horrible.
Here. And you know, they just want them all in the areas that aren't the wealthy areas. Well, you know,
they do it to the veterans too. They stick us in the hood.
Yeah.
In the hood, in the middle of the hood, literally.
Yeah. Like I live in community housing, and I have subsidized rent because I'm on disability. You know, there's no way I can afford market rent. My
No way.
daughters still live with me because even though they both work full time, they also cannot afford market rent in this city.
Right.
Um,
That's the
but
same
it's
thing here.
okay. It's okay to put up, low income housing more in our overcrowded area. It's okay to have those harm reduction centers in our area because you know what? That's what they're going to be more comfortable in anyway, and let those people deal with them.
Right. Right. And it's just like seriously, like
Yeah.
everything is just so judgmental in the world,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
and
we got off topic. So, but
yeah,
yes, so I understood what Becky was
me
doing
too.
and
Me
I
too.
had no
100%.
problem with what she
Yeah.
was doing. And
Adds
she
nothing now.
wasn't
No.
handing out stuff
Exactly.
while she was there.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yes,
It's
she
like I
had
don't
some
get it.
with her. She
And
had
who
stuff with
cares
her,
if
but
she
no
did?
needles.
You're at it. You're having it. There's an encampment. There's
Yeah.
going to be homeless people there that 9 times, I'm not trying to categorize anyone, that are
No.
9 times out of 10 drug users and abusers and so forth. So, yeah, you know what? She was doing the community a favor.
Yes. And who was it that wanted to bring in the unhoused people anyway?
DOA.
Who was it? And who
DOA.
argued against that because she knew what was going to happen? Hi, Janet. Welcome in.
Exactly. That was going to
Yeah.
cause nothing but trouble.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I think someone asked, "Peace, love, sunshine." Am I by the brush fires? Yes, I was not far from them.
Yes.
We were waiting to hear the knock on the door to evacuate, but it's all under control. We're good. We do have a burn ban here on Long Island. Quite a few things are coming up that's under massive investigation due to arson. So it was 2 miles long and 2.5 miles wide, the fire.
Mm.
So, yeah, we have we're in some trouble with that fire. Somebody's in trouble. So someone's
Yeah.
in deep shit. They feel like it was done intentionally. It was intentionally lit.
Yeah. And you know what,
Narcan,
Fairy?
yeah. Yeah.
I believe that it is possible here as well to get Narcan, but you know what? They don't publicize
No,
where
they don't.
or how,
No. I was
which
actually
is
told
stupid.
it is very stupid. I was told by I was living in a house before I moved here, and we had a bad drug addict in there constantly overdosing. And I said to the the EMTs that came one time, and I saw them throwing the Narcan kit in the garbage. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, can you provide them for me so we're not wasting your time coming here for this? I could do it myself. They turned
Mm-hmm.
around and told me I had to go and buy them, and I was like, well, sorry, I'm not paying for them. You're supposed
Yeah.
to, technically, they're supposed to give them to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an
Yeah.
issue here too. We have the overdosing here on the island and the fentanyl. They busted a guy here at the end of the summer that had enough fentanyl in his possession to kill every man, woman, and child on Long Island.
Mm-mm.
Yes, he's in prison. They confiscated money, guns, like I mean serious weapons. This guy's house is right behind my complex. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So, but they've
But
been
I
watching
mean,
him for a while.
so people like Becky are very valuable to any
Yes.
community,
Oh gosh,
and
yes.
her knowledge and skills,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and he completely diminished and undermined what she was there for once he could not use her
Yeah.
anymore.
There you go.
That's what it came down to, is he couldn't
Yep.
use her.
Exactly. Same thing
Um,
when I got up on his panel and told my story of my experience with Scientology as a child. To him, it was a
mhm.
waste of time. So I was essayed by Scientology. You're there defending children, but my story was a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what
Yeah.
type of person you are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was just
And
like,
I
wow,
know
you
that there
really
are
are.
people who found his costumes and cosplay and whatever entertaining, and
Really? I didn't.
they see it from that point of view. I
Right.
understand that, and I'm not
Yeah, I get it.
necessarily using that part of my brain when I'm watching stuff,
Right.
but
Right.
I still found it just kind of all kinds of what the hell?
Right? Like it
I
was like, oh, dancing around with pineapple glasses on, and
and the cape and the crown and the
wasn't
the
appeasing to me.
deflated flip-flops and the I mean,
Yeah.
I'm fat. I will deflate
Me
flip-flops
too.
too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
wear them. I wear
Right.
something with more substance. If I'm
Exactly.
wearing sandals, they're harder. But
Yeah,
that's just
exactly.
me. But
It's,
okay, fine. Like, I'm also not really into cosplay, period. My
right.
daughters,
Right.
however, have taken a turn in cosplay, and I totally supported that.
Right.
But they
Right.
were also going to conventions for that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that's the only place you can do it. It's just that made sense in my brain as to where that would be. I actually helped one of them with one of her costumes way back when. I did her hair and her makeup, and she actually won the costume contest, which really ticked off her best friend who was really trying to win.
Yeah, I hear you. It's all good. Yeah, the
Oops.
whole costume thing just makes me look at somebody like, okay. I mean, yeah, if that's what you like to do, okay, cool. Not my cup of
Okay,
tea,
fine,
personally.
but yeah, you just stay over there.
Yeah, exactly. Stay there. I'll stay here. You stay there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
I
you.
get that. I get that. Totally get that. But it's like there was something else that I was mulling over in my own head about this whole situation. The good
Hmm.
part is it seems to me like he may be there for quite a few days.
Hmm.
Like I was saying about the probation thing, that still it did say on there that he had I think 20,000 of that bail was for probation. So if he's still on probation, he could be looking at a hell of a lot more different charges added on to these new
Hmm.
charges, including the 16 other misdemeanor charges he's got. So there's a lot. Now, if they were able, and if they are able to pursue the hate crime charges,
Hmm.
you're better off with a physical altercation charge. You know what I mean? You're better off with an assault charge. They
Yeah.
don't. I know here in New York they don't play with hate crime. They do not play
Hmm.
with hate crime.
Yeah.
You know they catch you. They whoa.
You know
You
what?
know.
Okay. I see comments in the chat about costumes, and I agree. The squirrel costume and the alien costume, I
Yeah.
understand the tie to the protesting and Scientology with those. The crown and the cape, and
Yeah.
I don't
I don't get
see the
it.
tie-in for that other than just grabbing attention. And yeah, grabbing
Right.
attention in the right for the right reasons works. But I don't know. The unicorn even that Pharaoh Cheryl wore in a short, and she was dancing in
Mm-hmm.
the unicorn costume. I loved that. So I'm not against costumes. I
Right.
just
Right.
and
There's a
I'm
time
not
and
the
place for it.
arbiter of yeah, I'm not the arbiter of what costume works and what costume doesn't. I'm just saying, to me at the time, I was looking at him going,
What the hell's wrong with you?
"Oh, WTF is that all about?"
Me too.
I
I was like,
did
what the
not
heck?
grasp the use for it.
Me
Oh,
neither.
and Pup Groomer says, Jen says,
But
she believes he's off of probation now, but he was still on at the time of the alleged incident.
and then again,
So,
okay, and if that's the case, like I said, I know I'm only going from my own knowledge, my own experiences as well. he could still get a violation of probation, and he will have to do either time, pay a fine, whatever probation wants, to be honest with you. I mean, to be
Janet,
honest.
Janet, I don't have many clothes to wear either.
I mean,
I don't have a cape or a crown or pineapple glasses. I'm just saying.
me neither. I don't have any of that either.
I don't.
My wardrobe's limited.
Yeah.
Package of white t-shirts and some shorts, and I'm fine. Works for me. Sometimes blue.
You gotta have the pants in the winter, though.
Yes, sweatpants. Always have to have sweats.
Yes.
That's it. Other than that, my wardrobe's very limited. I got so much room in my dresser drawers. It's my cat sleeps in there. I got so much room. It is, and it's honestly, it's like I don't mean to sound hateful and mean, because I'm not like that. I'm really kind of glad this happened. I really am. It's time. He needs, just like people have been saying, he needs a very long time out. A very long time out, and he really does.
Yes.
And he needs to
how's
get
that, Janet?
He needs help here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say it to be mean or to be an idiot. I'm saying it because
I think
it's
just, yeah, I think it is a fact. I think the behavior, the extended behavior has proven that.
The highs and the lows.
There is,
and you can get hurt.
All of that shows that, yeah, there is something that he does need help with. And the little bit that I have heard leak out from things that Streets has said is that apparently his family feels that way and he will not take the medication.
He won't take the medication. He's in denial of the fact that he has a mental illness.
And you know what? I have heard things like that about other people in the past. And I can only imagine, I probably can't even imagine just how frustrating and heartbreaking that is for family members, because they love that person who they actually are, not who whatever illness there is is making them be. Right. So and so my heart goes out to his family as well as all of his other victims. And I say other because I'm quite sure that his family has been his victims as well, or have been his victims as well. If he's not allowed to go near them, that indicates that there has already been trouble there and they don't want any more.
Exactly. They're protecting themselves by not having him around. Listen, when they diagnosed me, my family didn't want me around. And of course, yes, back then I was hurt, upset, and angry. But as time goes on and your mind still starts to, mature itself. And then plus you get the help you need, which I did. Now I understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand. And I accept it. Okay, fine. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I haven't, that's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm not, they hate me because they're religious. No, it's not it. It's because of, unfortunately, what happened to me. And it's not my control. It's not my wrongdoings either, because I had no control over that. You don't have a control over when all of a sudden out of the clear blue sky, PTSD kicks in and you don't even know where the hell you are. You know what I mean? You're just wandering thinking you're somewhere else and you're not. You know, or you're going, it is a difficult, don't get me wrong, to deal with. And then there is always the side of someone, well, you don't understand what I'm going through. And
Yeah.
then when you sit back and really think about it, yes, they don't understand what you're going through, but you don't also understand how they are feeling watching this happen to someone they love.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's it.
Hi,
Me
Ice.
saying
Hi,
that took
Miss
a lot
Kim.
of therapy, like a
Yeah.
lot of years of
No,
therapy.
I can, I can't even imagine. I have not ever been in that situation. I know the expression is I can imagine, and I do slip and say it that way sometimes.
Right.
But when I think about it, I realize, no, I cannot really
Yeah,
imagine because I haven't been in that situation. I can empathize
right,
for sure. I can empathize, but I cannot really imagine what people have gone through when I haven't been in that situation myself. Um,
yeah, exactly, exactly. And
so I,
it's
I do
scary.
try to,
It's a scary thing to have happen to you, especially when you are pretty much abandoned from your family and now you're
yeah,
alone.
yeah, yeah,
And that's even more scarier. It can and can be dangerous
yeah.
to not
I
only
mean,
others but yourself as well.
I
I had to
have
learn
been
that.
in a situation where myself and my daughters were persistently, like we're talking over many years, harassed by an individual
Okay.
for literally just being alive and in the vicinity of this person.
Wow.
That thankfully is no longer the case. Um, that person moved away and has probably found other targets since then.
Mm.
I knew that I was not the only person who was having to deal with that individual. So I do have a little bit of an understanding there because my daughters were under the age of 10 when that was happening. And they had to take a specific route to and from school when they got old enough to go without me walking them to and from, because that person would harass them just for being my children.
Oh.
They were at the park one day playing with a friend of theirs in the neighborhood, and that person and their children were at the park sometime after my kids had already been there,
Okay.
and proceeded to start verbally attacking my children. And their friend stood up for them, same age as them, and they were all very young kids. He stood up for them, and he used language that my children were not allowed to use.
Yeah, then that's a problem too.
Yeah, but you know what? His mother was more lenient about stuff than I was.
Mm,
And I don't have anything to say about the language that he used. It is what it is. They're words.
right.
Um,
Right.
and so they responded, and then when they realized it was going to continue, they just packed up and went back to his place because they had been hanging out with his family, and I was at work at the time. Yeah, Becky, it was a very situation, a scary situation for a long period of time. But as I say, and we just kind of felt our way through it because the cops couldn't do anything about it. We do have security that's supposed to, go through and protect the site, but they're really here more to protect the property than they are individuals who live here. So that really wasn't doing anything. And property management really couldn't do anything about it either. It was an ongoing situation that, we just had to hope for allies and hope that they could maybe calmly step in and work with that person to kind of lower the temperature at
We
the
just got a
time.
news break
Uh-oh.
on what caused the fires.
Oh?
Yeah. Someone make it at around 9 a.m. A resident decided to make s'mores in their backyard, but the
Oh, no.
individual making the s'mores was unable to light the fire due to heavy winds. They used cardboard to light the fire, which ended up igniting and causing the backyard to go up in flames.
Oh, my goodness.
They just found this out. It literally just popped up I was like, oh, what? And I was like, oh no.
Oh,
Wow.
I was like, oh my
that's...
god.
Wow. Yeah.
No wonder why. Now I know why she put a burn ban. We're not allowed to burn anything now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Governor Hochul, she banned the whole entire island from burning anything.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That must have been scary for those people.
Yeah, oh, hi, Eric. Yeah, it must have been very scary, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. So yeah, from that perspective, I can understand the frustration and the fear and the constantly being on edge. And I do honestly have, it's not PTSD anymore. It's PTSI. I do have it, and that certainly exacerbated it. I probably had it before, but the hypervigilance just skyrocketed from that time period on, as a result of that. And honestly, I do see how my children were also damaged by that situation.
Yeah.
Because they had to take precautions that no child should have to take.
Yeah,
you know,
right. And that's what I don't
all
like.
because of, yeah. And I do believe that person has a mental illness as well.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, that's an explanation, but it is not an excuse for the behavior.
Exactly.
In my opinion, as a survivor of that, I refuse to call myself a victim, but I am a survivor of that situation with that person.
Right.
From my perspective, it is an explanation, not an excuse.
Right. And now this is a thing that's really been bothering me a lot about the whole Scott thing. Scott attacked Crazy Love. Now, when the whole pool noodle thing happened, when it fell out of his truck, the kid took it, put it in his closet, and forgot about it. He forgot to give it back to Scott. Scott made that little, at the time, 6-year-old kid out to be a thief.
Wow.
Her kid stole my pool noodle, and they held it for ransom. Yeah. When meanwhile, it was nothing but joking around, sarcasm, and having fun at a tough time during the movement. See, these are things that he's done, and I'd been watching him do. And when he started doing it, and then he did it to Henry, and these are just the ones that are in my face I'm seeing. It doesn't count all the ones that he's twisted narratives of every situation. He's even done it to me, and I've only spoken on his panel once.
Yeah.
And he twisted everything I said. And then tried to make himself out like a fucking hero. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. Like, tried to make himself out to be a hero. And I'm like, dude, you're not a hero. You were not in my life in 1996, bro. You were still in freaking junior high. How were you preventing me from doing something? He took everything and just twisted it. When I realized, oh, look, I'm listening. I'm like, are you kidding me? And his entire chat. Yeah. What? Where on earth are their heads is what I want. They're not normal people. How can they possibly think rationally when everything this man is twisting and turning and making out these innocent, good people, advocates out to be bad people?
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Yeah.
it's very frustrating thing to sit and think about and go, how?
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, I
that goes to talking about mental illness. That is,
yes. Now, I,
I forgot what it's called,
there
but it
are
is legit mental illness.
there are complicated people within the movement, as there are within humankind, and saying that does not mean that they deserve the treatment that they have gotten from Scott.
Exactly.
I know that crazy love is not everyone's cup of tea.
Right.
I know that Henri is not everyone's cup of tea.
Neither am I.
Or Henry, however you say his name.
I don't even know how you. I always say Henry.
Yeah, I it's spelled like it should be said with a French pronunciation, but he's not French,
Right.
and
Right.
I don't know. Henry.
I just say Henry.
And
it's
while
just sad that that's how you would honestly treat people who supported
yeah,
you.
yeah,
And I have a great deal of connections here on Long Island that I really don't tell people about.
mm-hmm,
I give jibs and drabs to certain people that I'm tight with, but they don't know the extent of every type of connection I really do have here.
yeah,
Connections that go all the way to New York City.
yeah,
Things that where we could help a great deal. But who wants to help when you got something like that destroying it? Destroying everything about it. And no one wants to be involved. They don't want to be. They're like, wait, listen, we we love you to death, kid, but they still call me kid. Don't ask me why. We love you to death. We want to help, but we can't do that to ourselves for our own reputations and our own place in life where we are right now. In other words, so it sucks because this could have gotten real far, real quick.
Yeah.
And thanks to his own actions, Nora is another one. Her actions. No one wants to be bothered. And these are high up people.
Yeah.
Way high up.
Now, apparently they have raised the bail money. They're now working on the money for the lawyer. So
Right.
No, crazy love, you are not everyone's cup of tea. Neither am I. You're at least their hot cup of coffee and NyQuil.
NyQuil, there you go. And the thing was too, when she was on her original channel, we used to go up there and have fun. We would laugh, we would tell jokes, and have a good time.
Yeah.
And then it just came crumbling down, and to be honest, it was very sad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, or any horse for that matter, but I will say, like I said, there were things that I saw when I would drop in that really were not my thing. I didn't care for them, but I just would leave because, as Kim says, we are the adults in the room, and that's what we do. Is we don't like something, we turn and walk away.
Exactly.
And so that's what I did. It's not my job to tell you what you should and shouldn't do on your channel. It's not. It's not my job. It's not my place.
And it's no one's job nor place to tell somebody who they can watch and who they can't watch. This ain't a cult.
Yes. And
we're not in a cult.
Exactly. And it's also not anyone else's job to say who can or cannot be in your chat.
Exactly. That's the whole thing where I'm just like, oh God. And it's like when I went up on when I got up in the meeting in the
oh, you troublemaker, you.
Oh,
I still don't even know what the hell you said.
I told them if they want to clean up their streets, they need to get rid of two parasites, Scientology and Scott Hofstadter. No wonder. He was a dirtbag. I say he's a dirtbag. Driving around, I brought up the Josiah stuff. I was like, he's driving around. This guy going through, a poor kid's having a mental breakdown, and he's getting people. But the thing with him is like Pinche Becky and Josiah and Streets. They live there and have lived there. They are residents.
Yep.
There. It's like my family.
Yep.
Over 40 years of residency in California. They are scared to go to LA because he's there. They don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me this months back. They're like, I don't like that guy. I won't go to LA anymore. And my family don't go to LA. Somewhere they love to be, drive around, do their thing.
Yeah.
So, and I put it on my that AI character guy, AZ Crimson, said I destroyed a year's worth of work in 50 seconds. I was like, shit, all right, root me on, man. Damn, I'm fucking powerful. But I'm powerful with my words, man. I actually reposted it, kind of like, hey, thanks, man.
Did you know you wielded that much power, Minnie?
I know. And you know what bothers me the most is I specifically said in Mona's chat, Fat Grammy's chat, I said, I am going to say something that certain people in this chat are not going to like. And they basically, to put it in an easy perspective, rooted me on and agreed. And we're like, well, it's your freedom of speech. But then all of a sudden you're trying to take away my freedom of speech because I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it make sense because I can't.
No.
And I'm glad I'm living rent-free in all their heads.
Yeah. Now, Buttercup says, yes, I was listening when you called in. Didn't know that was you.
That was me. And I put my name in there because I was so aggravated with Scott stuff and the things that he was doing. I put my name in there was NYFAFO. Like, you fucked around, and now you're going to find out. And then he gets arrested, and I was like, maybe it worked. Maybe it worked.
Yeah.
Maybe they listened.
Yeah.
Maybe they took that
I was really hoping that we have entered the FO part of the FAFO.
Exactly. That's what I was laughing, though. I was like, oh, my goodness. I was like, oops. And then,
Did he spray paint a sign, too?
Scott damaged the planters and spray painted on COS sign. Oh, he spray painted on a sign? That I didn't know. And the Christmas tree wreath that I know about.
The wreath I saw this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, on Aaron's thing he had earlier.
Know nothing about spray painting.
I didn't know anything about spray painting either. That's brand new info to me. But that's like I'm saying, those planters, it's all Minnie's fault. It's all my fault. I take the blame.
The other thing that I heard, when he was protesting at La Poubelle, he also, when he went to the Celebrity Center in his RV, he started spray painting the lawn. You know those long logs, that are in front of the buildings and stuff. He used to do that and put Scientology as a quote on the wooden logs.
I didn't know that.
Really? No, I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. Thank you, Eric. I didn't know that. That's vandalism.
Yeah.
That's vandalism.
It is. And because they are in the States recognized as a religion, that can fall into the hate crime category.
Hate crimes. That's what I'm saying. Everything is escalating. They're just building it up on him. They just they're building up on him. They don't want him there. Yeah, and you could clearly see it.
Yes, and I mean I can't blame them. But at the same time, like I said, even though I have mixed feelings because of the effect of our community being painted with the same brush as him.
Right.
He has done this to himself with his own actions.
Yes, this is his own doings. This is his own fault, not anyone else's.
Yeah.
It's certainly not Eric Rader's fault. All of a sudden it's Eric Rader's. How is it Eric Rader's fault?
Right?
He was on a live
Like,
stream himself.
last I heard, Eric Rader was not the police commissioner or the police chief.
Or the DA.
He's not even a cop, never has been. Oh, room raid. Yeah, and I'm not even supposed to be on at this point now because I am missing my basketball game for this, you people. Okay?
Oh.
It's okay. I'm recording it.
Who's playing tonight?
Well, I only watch the Raptors and whoever else they're up against. And I think, who are they up against today? I just know that the Raptors are playing. Let me check my phone for a second. They're playing the Washington Wizards tonight.
Oh, okay.
I think they beat them last time. So hopefully they will do that even without me watching.
There you go. I do love sports. I was always into sports. Ugh.
Kim, technically I agree with you that we don't do what he does, so we shouldn't have to worry. Unfortunately, we know how Scientology operates.
Yes.
And they will try to paint us with the same brush anyway. And that's why I have mixed feelings about this whole thing, because as I said in the beginning, and I know you just woke up, Kim, so, you know, you're here when you're here. On one hand, I would like to see him have an extended timeout. But on the other hand, because he says that he is here to bring down Scientology and et cetera, they will use that to paint us with that brush anyway. So, you know, but from the moment he entered this community, we were going to have to deal with his actions in the long run. Right. So we're just going to have to. It's unfortunate that so many people who are part of this community still support him. And unlike Aaron, I don't believe that it's only a few, like 5 people. I do think that there are more than 5. I could not venture to count the number of people who still support him. And it saddens me that they don't see the behavior for what it is.
Or they justify the behavior, which I've seen them do.
And that they justify it. Exactly.
And badly justify it. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know, don't defend him, because the more you defend him, the more trouble you could get in.
Yeah. And I don't think they recognize that. I think they don't. I think they think that they are completely immune to being lumped in with that. They don't understand that it's on the internet. Everything that they have said in his chats, everything that they have said in other people's chats supporting him and what he's done. Yes, eyes to see, they're under a spell.
Yeah, they're brainwashed.
But all of that is on the internet, and it will be on the internet.
Yep.
And if someone was so inclined and had the skills to do so, they could track down every single one of those commenters, who they are in real life, where they live, and, you know, they could go after them.
That's where I was getting scared.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in there screaming at cops for swatting him. You know, I mean, I didn't terrorize people like most of them do. Like, I didn't go after people he decided to hate. I didn't go after them. You know what I mean? It's not. I never jumped into their chats and like, oh, you know, you're this or you're that. Like I've seen others do. You know, I didn't do any of that because I was like, you know, not only that, but it just didn't feel right to do something like that to someone. And not only that, but as I'm listening to his reasonings as to why these people are bad actors, it made absolutely no sense. Like,
Yeah.
why would you? These are your friends. Now you're making them your enemy for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, you froze.
then
Oh,
I
you're
hate to
back.
bring it up again, but it goes back to the whole
Yeah.
Becky thing. Made
No,
absolutely
it's
no
okay.
sense.
It's okay.
It makes no sense to me. Why would you push these people away that are trying to help you? And there were times in his chat where it was like, "Oh, don't say this, or you're getting a ban," and it was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you really have to have control over everything like that? You're really that much of a control freak? Because that's a sickness too,
Yeah.
and a big one. You feel
Yeah.
like you have to be in control of everybody and what they do. And these people are okay. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, those days for me are
Mm-hmm.
over. Those days
Mm-hmm.
for me are over. I'm
Yeah.
50. I'm an adult. I do not
Right?
want to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so yeah, for those who are just joining us, the bail
Understood.
has been raised. It had been reduced to 75,000. It includes a stay away from Scientology order. It includes an ankle bracelet, and what was the third thing? Ankle monitor. Thank you. 100 feet from Scientology. Thank you, Fraudy. An ankle monitor or some other sort of monitoring device.
And
Um,
community work. Also, that
uh,
that
community work?
yeah, I was
That would
hearing
usually
something.
come in with sentencing, though, and he hasn't been sentenced because he hasn't even gone to trial. So I think that was something someone asked a question about. Could he be sentenced to community work? So I'm not sure that's a part of it right now. But it's 75K, the ankle monitor, the stay away order. And we were also discussing the fact that if he has to use a monitoring device of some kind, then he has to have he can't just stay in the RV. He's got to have an address on file registered that he has to stay within. And if he's got to have them, oh, okay, well, no, I guess the stay away is to monitor that he's not going within the restricted area of a Scientology thing, and also so he doesn't jump bail.
Yes,
I'm guessing.
exactly. That's the ankle monitor. They don't want him jumping bail right now. They don't want
Yeah.
him fleeing the state. They want to address this. And that's why I'm saying, now what I don't understand is too, I know those stipulations, same thing with the ankle monitor, also are for probation. That's where I don't understand. He's on probation in another state. How's that possible? I don't understand that. That made no sense. I know with probation here, you have to remain here. You need an address. Your PO has to come and see you. You got to go see them, and they can urine test you at any given time. So I don't understand.
I don't know.
It makes no sense.
I have even less knowledge, as I have acknowledged, of the entire actual system, and I'm assuming 100 yards, not feet. Okay, thank you, Fraud.
100 yards. Wow. Like he can't even be down the road.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
100 yards. That's like what? two
He's
football
he's
fields?
going to be very limited in where he can go in LA, I guess, because they have so many properties.
I was just gonna say that if he has to be that far away from every one of their
Mm-hmm.
spots, he's got to go like Santa Monica, and he can't even go there. Where the hell's he gonna go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very limited on where he'll be around there.
Mm-hmm. Which
It's a
might
very
also rule out Laura's place because she's not very far away from a Scientology
it's
property. I
true.
don't know the distance, but I do remember her saying when her van was vandalized that she lives
Yes,
like right around the corner or something from,
like 5 minutes away. I think she even said.
yeah. So,
So that's
mm-hmm.
close. It's like I think she even said she could see the blue building from there.
Yeah. I wonder if she is within that 100 yards or not. We'll all, I know people will hear, they will find out, and they will spread the word. So, you know.
Yeah, we'll eventually find out everything. Yeah.
Hi,
Oh
Susie.
my gosh, what a.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, wow. I. And of course, unfortunately, that also means that he will spend a lot more time on stream talking because that's all he will be able to do.
Yeah, and no doubt his little lurkers are in here clipping everything
Oh,
we're
for
saying.
sure. And you know what? Let
Hi.
them. I don't.
How you
Yeah.
doing?
Hi. I am who I am. I've been the same person all along.
Right.
It's not going to change.
No, because I've seen them now. Because everybody's chats were super quiet when it came to trolls, but all of a sudden, past 2 days, well, especially today, the trolls are everywhere. I'm like, wow, they just came out of the woodwork
Well, I mean,
because
yes.
they're not in his chat running their mouths.
On stream crying. Yes, exactly. Yes, for
Crying,
sure.
yeah. Poor me,
Oh,
I
woe
didn't
is
do it.
me. Woe is me. Yeah. Hey, lurkers. Unless they tell him he can't be online. That's
I'm a
true, Tracy,
victim.
but I don't think that
Yeah,
is a
they hurt my.
stipulation as of yet.
I don't think so.
They can make that a part of his bail conditions. That would be wonderful, but I don't think that's gonna be a thing. At least not at this point. Yeah, Miss Kim, I can ignore him online too. It's just, he would. I'm sure he would be happy to just, sit on a stream for 8-10 hours and, collect super chats. Minnie, I think you're frozen again. So maybe go out and come back in again, Minnie. Yeah, he would claim loss of income. What income?
Yeah. So the other thing is while Minnie's frozen, the other thing is he only has one phone now. Since the police took the other phone, he had two phones. So the phone that was in his van, his RV, the one that he had that the police
they left
have,
behind.
he only
Yeah.
has one phone that he's able to use.
Yeah, well, that won't last too long. Every time the police have taken his phones, within 24 hours, one of his supporters has appeared with the money or with new phones. So, I mean, I would like to have the money that these people apparently have because I sure don't. And I would not be buying anybody else phones, but that's just me. You know.
Yeah, well, the phones that that every one of his supporters, bought for him, that was like 20 something, 20, not 27 bucks, uh, $2,500, that he had to buy two new phones. I mean, now one's in custody and one is in his RV. So I'm like, when he's out, he only has one phone to use. So, he's out of the other phone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
but he's going to say, "Oh, I have to have another phone. I have to have two phones." And okay, whatever. I mean, I have two phones with one number because one gets hotspotted to the other when I'm out protesting. That's the only thing it gets used for. So, and for playing trivia for me, as my daughter is about to do. Thank you. But I mean, it's an old phone and it works for streaming. Yeah, Kim has like Kim says they have 4 other phones from before, if I heard correct. Yes, the police do. Yes. And every time he comes out and woe is me, I don't have a phone. They stole my phones. No, they confiscated your phones for evidence. And while you were in the cage/jail, and so he cries and whines, and people supply money for new phones. And let's do it again. Round and round the circle goes. So,
Yeah, but the thing is the prices of phones now. I mean, at least with my phone, mine's a Samsung Galaxy S22, but like my phone out of from T-Mobile was $1,100. So I
mhm,
mean, you can tell by the phone that he has the same exact type of phone as I do, but like, if he's on a plan, the price might drop or it might be more. But for him to ask for, I need another phone and I'm out of other phones, he'll have to, the his chatters will have to send him money, and I'm like, he'll have to buy another phone. So I'm like, well, good luck with that.
yeah, exactly. But they keep doing it. They keep doing it. And I think, my understanding, I heard somewhere, I could be wrong and I don't mind being corrected if I am. I heard somewhere that he was very specific about the phones that he wanted as his replacement phones. So, I mean, I have a Samsung S23. Mine is on a plan, but I understand that they're being bought outright so he can just continue to use them on whatever plan he has. That seems to be what's been happening. He just gets a new SIM card for them. I don't know. I do not have money to be spending on a lot of phones. Mine, I pay off over time. I can't buy one outright. Forget that. If I can't
Yeah,
do that for
yeah,
myself, I'm not doing it for anybody else. But you
yeah.
do you, boo.
I'm on a family plan with my parents. So with the phones that all three of us have, my mom, my dad, and me, we had to pay like, the amount that they're giving us. So if it's like the phones are like, if my phone's $1,100, my mom's phone is like maybe 500. If my dad's phone is the same, we have to pay that price,
Yep.
but if they say, that you've been on the plan for a long time, that you'll pay like maybe $200, for the plan. But like, for Saudi and for DOA and stuff, that's a different story. Since I don't know what plan, what carrier he has, but he has to figure out about paying the phones outright. If he has the money. So yeah, best of luck to him on that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fraud. I am going to look for that and just give me a second. Whoops. Right click. And perhaps not a new window would help. Wow. Just bear with me a second. Okay. You know what? I'm going to give DOS the view because I can. So give me a sec here. I'm going to bring it up and share it. Nope. Oh, that's because I didn't actually click on it. Duh. I'll be okay, folks. Okay. One sec. Back here. Let's try this again. I'll be okay. I'll get it together. I was not planning on sharing anything today, so my brain is like, wait, what? We have to work? Okay, so here we go. Let's play this.
Have part 2, so we have a definitive conclusion. Again, just to whore myself out, if you want to donate via Cash App or GoFundMe or anything else, I got my links, because any payment to help out with the motel will be helpful. But let us not bury the lead. DOA is still in jail, but his $350,000 bail got reduced to a much more manageable $75,000, which means that you're really only on the hook in the immediate future for really 10%, $7,000. Lara, I know, has been very busy raising money for DOA's freedom, trying to cover all our bases, as well as connecting with Shaheen Mansouri, who will later represent DOA in these hearings. So she has close to what she needs, but obviously you don't want to help out with me, but you want to help out with that might even be more pressing. So Lara has her links over there, but she's pretty close to getting what she needs to bail him out. So expect DOA 50% chance to be released today, 50% chance, I would say, released tomorrow. There's pretty much a 0% chance that by Thursday DOA will still be in jail. Not going to happen. It's just not. They have the money ready. They have the money together. Before I start going into the specifics, part of the agreement is he has a stay away order 100 yards from any, unsurprisingly, from any Scientology building in existence in LA, in the city of LA. So not very surprising there. He also has to turn in any guns he has. I don't think he has any guns, but if he does, he has to turn that in. The public defender argued to have him just be released. The assistant district attorney said that he has a history of prior issues, most of which, as the judge was asking for specifics, most of which got watered down to a simple misdemeanor or violation. So if you actually, it's funny, everybody's saying on Reddit that DOA has this long checkered criminal history. They were specifically asking the judge, Teresa McGonigal, specifically asked, well, does he have any criminal convictions in his past? They mentioned the restraining orders, which is one of the reasons that DOA wasn't immediately released. They mentioned altercation, kerfuffles with the cops. But the ADA had to admit that there was no past criminal conviction of DOA. So to not lower the bail and to go to $350,000 didn't really make much sense. But they certainly used that as an excuse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over a lot of the exact words and try to get them as efficiently as I can. But there's been some conversation as to what the prosecuting team, what incidents they're looking at and what they're focusing on and how they're going to try to peg DOA. So they'll get very specific as to what these are because the judge didn't really know much about it until it was brought to her attention in this immediate hearing. So that's the rub. DOA, obviously, unsurprisingly, respect for that, not pleading not guilty, which I think is the right way to go. So guess what, guys? There's a trial, which means I actually have something to do with my life. I'm very excited for that, and I will be covering the trial. So, obviously, as I said before, I'm not going to use Mr. Hockstetter. I'm not going to use the name just for shorthand, so I'm going to say attorney, ADA, DOA, instead of Scott, as you probably know from before. So, the public defender currently representing Scott says, DOA is asking to be released. He does remark that he works consistently and makes a living as a streamer. Time away from that means a legitimate financial loss of income. And the assistant district attorney replies, his work has
Okay, so that's my computer complaining. My apologies. Give it a sec here. No, it's just decided it's not going to cooperate anymore. So, sorry, I did not grab the link to that, but I'm sure you can all find it. Either watch it on Dodge's channel or on Dose's channel. I believe Dose, with part 1, I believe she did the whole short or the whole video from Dodge's first support or first stream this morning about it. So I imagine, oh, thank you, Carrie Ann. It might not just be me. There's hope. But if you can track down the video, I'm sure that both of them show the complete report from Dodge. So anyway, he does have restrictions on him, and I mean that's a start. At least he's not going to be out today from the looks of things. And, you know, we'll see how long it takes for the rest of the week. If they have already gotten the bail money together, I imagine they will want to get him out while they are continuing to pull together the money for the lawyer. So he could be out as early as tomorrow, I'm guessing. We'll see. Let's see. Okay, Eric, you're still with me? Because I don't hear you anymore. Oh, okay, you're still there.
Yeah, I've had to put my volume on mute so you play the video.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do hope that this is a wake-up call for a large majority of his supporters. I'm not going to hold my breath, though, because I do have a very strong self-preservation drive. So, and I like to breathe. I do hope that he loses his support, but I'm quite sure. Yes, I know, Journey. Unfortunately, I think he is going to continue to have support. I just would hope that it would become really, really, really minuscule after all of this. But I know that there are certain people who are just gonna say, oh, he's being wronged, he's being a sacrificial lamb, he's whatever. You know, they're gonna say what they're gonna say, and frankly, it's not my business until they say it to me, and at that point I can just turn and walk away, because I don't have time for that. I didn't even want to discuss him, which was honestly one of the main reasons why I made this show all about the small channels, except for today. So I didn't have to deal with the shenanigans that were going on with the larger channels, because that was taking away from the work that mostly, honestly, the smaller channels were being consistent about, and they weren't getting their flowers for it. And I wanted to redirect attention and focus back to working against Scientology. So that was the whole reason why the Scooter Report has always been about the smaller channels. I made the exception for today because, hello, that's all everyone is talking about. And I was listening. So, yeah, Miss Kim, I would hope that we can stop discussing him now. That would be great. Like I said, I'm just not going to hold my breath at this point. Well, thank you, Eyes. I appreciate you too. And I actually, you had a playlist set up that I discovered yesterday before all of this blew up that I was going to show a clip from. So I'm going to hold on to that for the next show, because, you know, your information is quite timeless. So I will be sharing that with everyone else. And I'm going to continue to work on collecting clips for the next show. So if you have seen something not related to the 3-letter acronym that is of a small channel that has less than 1.5 subs, that is actively doing something anti-Scientology, please send me a clip or a link with a timestamp. You're very welcome, Eyes. Because I do want to continue to feature those things. That's what I do this for. I have become accustomed to, but not terribly comfortable with, being on camera. But it is worth it to me to amplify the small channels in the anti-Scientology movement. It is cold outside, and I'm really not going outside to protest very much through our very long winters. So I am doing this as often as I physically can, to continue doing something against Scientology. That's my contribution, particularly until I can get back out there. But it will continue even once I am able to get back out there. We'll just, have to play things by ear time-wise at that point. But let's, just deal with now for now. Thank you, Miss Kim. I appreciate all of your channels. So, let's redirect our focus once again to anti-Scientology and continue to do the good work and not focus on all the negatives, because nobody really wants to spend time on the negative, at least not the adults in the room, as Miss Kim likes to say. And I wholeheartedly agree with her assessment. Fairy, I'm kind, but I'm also, how do I put it? I can be kind. It is my natural instinct to be kind. I mean, I think that you have to be kind first as a Canadian. I think that's a requirement. But I am not always capable of being kind. We'll put it that way. Sorry, I went off topic. But I would really love for us to just get back to anti-Scientology. We do not need to deal with personality conflicts. Who likes who? Who's prettier than who? Who's fat? Who's thin? Who's whatever? If you are contributing to anti-Scientology, to the movement against Scientology, then, I would like to support them. If they have a channel that is anti-Scientology, that is less than 1.5K subs, then, that's who the Scooter Report particularly amplifies. You know what? It's probably more boring than all of that other stuff. But you know what? I'm kind of boring too. I like boring. I honestly do. It's much better on my adrenal system.
Mom, I don't blame you. I mean, after me live streaming on YouTube for 6 years, I mean, my streams are boring, but I mean, it's a topic that I want to bring up. If I want to bring up my high functioning autism, if I want to do comedy, if I want to do other topics, it's not boring. But like, if people are boring on it, then don't watch. Just go somewhere else. Go on someone else's live. But like, the main thing is what we need to do is shut down Scientology and protest the best we can. That's like, what we need, what everyone that's doing their part, and try and make the most of that, so, that's what we need to do. And that's
calling into meetings, doing the paperwork, contacting your representatives, going out protesting. All of that is valid work, and it's important work, and no one has the right to diminish it. And supporting in the chats is also very valid, because that keeps us going. And why would we even bother to be on YouTube if we didn't have the option to have supporters? So, and by the way, let us not forget all the people who mod, and that is a volunteer position. Nobody getting paid to mod. And standard mods do not have the same control as what's the other word I'm looking for? I can't even remember what it is. Managing mods. And very few people, honestly, are managing mods. And it's only at the discretion of those creators who choose to make them managing mods. And you know what? That's between the creator and the mod. That's not anybody else's business. So, like, enough with trashing the mods. Most of the mods are just doing what the creators want them to do so that they don't have to do it. And there are people who have wrenches simply because the creator wanted to give them a wrench. They're not even necessarily there to do the actual modding. Whatever. You know, everybody does it for their own reasons. So, enough with the bashing of the members of the community. It serves no purpose but to rile things up. We already have a chief agent of chaos. We don't need any more. So, and you know what, Fairy? I have been made a managing mod, and I have completely forgotten that I was a managing mod because I don't use it. I very, very rarely use it. There is one person that I would put on subs only whenever I could, Becky, if she's still here. I don't know if she's still here or not, because she got a lot of crap. And you know it, Fairy, because you were there. Yes, Carrie, I know. Mods try very hard. Mods are people too. And, you know, like when you choose to mod for someone, it's because you want to help. You want to support the person. And that's all there is to it. That doesn't mean that you have any control over said person. You are strictly there to help the chat stay on topic and stay friendly and welcoming to everyone there. That's really what it's about. So anything else, forget about it. Don't listen to it because people just like to say stuff. Yes, J-Bat, sometimes you just want to be a chatter. And Fraud, I bet you were. I bet you were. I was only in there for a few minutes before he really got going. You know, it's silliness, honestly. The chaos that we've all been having to deal with for months now has just been ridiculous. OSA is bad enough. We don't need it coming from within the house. So, you know, exactly, Fuzzy. There was only one creator I could ever tell what to do, and that was Leanne. And that was just because I was bossing her whether I was a mod for her or not. It's because I'm just bossy that way. Hi, Hellgear. Welcome in. Unfortunately, I'm actually trying to wrap up here. So, anyway, you know, this is not going to be a regular thing on the Scooter Report. It's really not. It was just, I just threw my hands up and tossed away the notes because I wasn't getting any work done yesterday and this morning anyway. So I just said, hell with it. Let's just go with it for today. But we will, yes, LA in TO, Fuzzy. I adore her. She has had to step away from the community for her own mental health, and I fully support her in that. And, you know, she's yeah, Miss Kim. I don't really boss you except to remind you to go see your eye doctor. That was your reminder for the day. But seriously, yeah, I am by nature kind of a bossy person. So, but that's like almost 40 years of mothering skills that just, come out of my mouth. Um, that's just who I have become over 40 years. But I can joke about it because I know I don't really have the ability to boss anyone that I mod for. And the only people, I do tell Jen when it's bedtime, but that's because she needs someone to tell her. Yes, we are fuzzy. The Canadian mods, you don't mess with Canadians. People just do not understand. You're not supposed to mess with Canadians. We're polite, but don't get on our bad side. We already burned down the first White House. Fairy, I do not.
If that was the case, then that would be a different story.
And okay, we were fully under British rule at the time, but we still did it. It was the Canadians that did it. Anyway, in all seriousness, let's get back to doing the work that we came here to do. However we are able to do it, as respectfully as we are able to do it, because we are still dealing with human beings, no matter what side of the issue you fall on. Whether you are dealing with a Scientologist, they are not Scientology. Yes, Fairy. That's why you call me Chat Mama. They're still a human being. And even though they've had a lot of their natural instincts brainwashed deeper in, that does not mean that they don't still have feelings. And we would like to think that we could be showing them how life could be. And if you are verbally abusing them, that's not really going to be something that they're going to be inclined to, sorry, my phone keeps buzzing at me, that they're going to be inclined to go towards. So I'm not here to tell anyone how to protest, but I think we have all seen more effective ways to protest. Ways, sure, Fuzzy. Okay, everyone, Fuzzy has announced she does not have feelings. I think we have all seen effective ways or more effective ways to protest. I do not personally feel that yelling and screaming epithets and everything else at people is a way to make someone want to have contact with you. That's just me. You yell and scream at me, I'm going to yell and scream back and then turn and walk away. And even outside of the US, PLS, there has been a lot of trauma, and you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know what they have dealt with. But in my opinion, sure as shooting, you're not going to attract them. Like, the old saying goes, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, although I don't know why you would want to catch a fly. I'm just saying. So, Laura is live with an update. Well, I will leave it up to all of you as to whether or not you choose to go and watch. I am going to go and watch what's left of my basketball game that started an hour ago, so I'll be right in time for halftime. So I will wish you all a very peaceful evening. And I will see you on the next Scooter Report. I will see you in other chats. And I will see you around the YouTube streets. So take care, everyone. And we'll talk.